WA firefighters are coming up for air for the first time in days after a hellish weekend, in which more than 1,000 career and volunteer heroes battled 4 out-of-control infernos simultaneously for the first time. The raging blazes at Denmark, Bridgetown, Corrigin and Wickepin burnt through more than 65,000 ha of WA's regional heartland, and were on Sunday all at an emergency level at the same time, forcing evacuations. WA Fire and Emergency Services Commissioner Darren Klemm said he believed it was the first time the state had battled 4 Level 3 emergencies at once, all the while fighting several other smaller fires and incidents. He said the resources required to fight the unprecedented situation, against a backdrop of challenges posed by COVID-19, was extremely challenging. There have been incredible efforts by volunteer and career personnel alike, not only with dealing with the 4 Level 3 bushfires occurring throughout the state from Friday to last Sunday, but with the many other bushfires and incidents that occurred around the state at the same time, Mr. Klemm said. Camera icon damage done by the bushfire in Corrigin, where many houses and sheds were lost. Credit, Ashley Jacobs. I don't recall a time when we have had 4 Level 3 bushfires occurring at the same time, as well as dealing with a state of emergency around a pandemic. So it is particularly challenging from a resourcing point of view. But I am equally as proud of the pre-planning that went in last week to make sure the state was prepared for the difficult conditions. All of the 4 intense bushfires had been downgraded by Monday afternoon, with the wheatbelt blazes at Wickepin and Corrigin sitting at the 2nd-tier watch and act stage, and the Denmark and Bridgetown blazes at the lowest level of bushfire advice. Residents are starting to return to their homes at Hectares, just north of Bridgetown, Corrigin, Wickepin and Denmark. However, a warning remains for Hectares after toxic chemicals were released from the timber treaters business. Camera icon A burnt property. Credit, Laurie Benson, Albany Advertiser. More than 1,000 emergency services crew members were deployed to help communities affected at the weekend, and 36 firefighters arrived from NSW to lend a hand on Sunday night. There were also 17 aircraft supporting ground crew, including a large air tanker. The 4 blazes raised an area 10 times the size of metropolitan Perth, destroying farmland, sheds and property, including 4 homes in Denmark and 1 in Bridgetown. At least 2 homes are believed to have also been destroyed in Corrigin. Bridgetown Golf Course caretakers Penny and Bob Marshall said the devastating bushfire had ripped through their properties, destroying the golf club. The couple fought for as long as they could to keep the fire at bay by using the water tanks available before the intense heat melted the plastic tanks, rendering them useless. Mr. Klemm said rapid damage assessment was underway to determine the damage across the wheat belt, with initial indications sheds and other infrastructure had also been destroyed in Kubeling. He said the Denmark fire was not being treated as suspicious, but the arson squad had visited Bridgetown while work had begun to determine how the wheat belt blazes started. The number of sheep killed or badly burnt across the wheat belt is still being assessed, but is expected to be in the thousands, with farmers and vets undertaking the heartbreaking task of euthanizing injured livestock on Monday. Got something to say? Leave a comment below. WA Farmers President John Hassel said stock and infrastructure losses were the most devastating impact of the blazes, with fire fronts that spread throughout the Good Sheep area so quickly there was almost no opportunity for farmers to move animals. There has been no human life lost, but losing livestock and property is devastating, he said. Some farmers did manage to move sheep, but it was very tough going when a fire is that fast-moving and serious. More than 60,000 ha of regional WA was raised by fire, including 2250 ha at Bridgetown, 2150 ha at Denmark, and about 55,000 ha across the central wheat belt, including 18,000 ha near Narrogin. Camera icon Bridgetown Golf Course caretakers Penny and Bob Marshall have lost everything when their home went up in flames. Several sheds, machinery and vehicles. Credit, Simon Santee, The West Australian. Shire of Pingelly President William Mulrooney said about 40 people, 8 from Corrigin and the remainder from Wickepin, had spent the night at an evacuation centre at Pingelly on Monday. Forced to flee as the flames bore down on the outskirts of Wickepin and Corrigin, they grabbed their most precious belongings before spending their nights resting in their cars, on blow-up mattresses, or on camp stretchers, with sleeping bags and pillows on the town's indoor basketball court. Wickepin's Hilton Kirby said all he could think about was whether he was going to see his house again. "You pray like hell that you've still got a house when you come home, because all we've got is what we're wearing," he said. Wickepin grandmother Sandra Neary first found out about the blaze on the radio as she and 3 of her grandkids, Isaiah, 7, Ava, 6, and Malia, 3, were heading home from a visit to family in Perth. "We were in Perth for my grandson's first birthday, and on our way home, just outside of Narrogin, we heard on the news that Wickepin had been evacuated," she said. "They dashed home, grabbing clothes, their teddies, their bird Benji and a portrait of Mrs. Neary's son and the children's father Matthew, who was killed in a hit-and-run incident a year ago." Emergency Services Minister Stephen Dawson said there was still a real threat to Liv's communities and homes, with more extreme weather conditions expected later this week.